Often when you come out of an unbalanced relationship, the first thing that hits you is not clarity, it's guilt. And it's not because you've done anything wrong, it's because your whole nervous system's wired for a dynamic that you didn't realize that you'd adapted to. You get used to managing someone else's moods and reading their tone before you even register your own. You start sentences with apologizing on instinct because keeping the emotional temperature down becomes this weird second nature to you. And you start carrying this massive burden of the relationship all the time because you're holding the weight for them too. And it's become normal. That's what conditioning does. It turns survival patterns into personality traits, and it convinces you that your job is to be emotionally useful, even when you're exhausted and when someone benefits from you being that way, from you over-functioning, over-correcting and over-explaining. They're never going to stop you. Why would they? Your labor makes their life easier. So when you finally step out of that dynamic and start protecting your own energy, guilt shows up immediately. Not because you're wrong, but because you're doing something unfamiliar. Your system's used to over-caring, over-apologizing, smoothing things over before they got messy. And it doesn't know yet that you don't have to live like that. That guilt is like an echo of a role that you've played for far too long. A role where you felt responsible for the atmosphere, the peace, the emotional cleanup all the time. And I see this all the time. Stepping out of that role feels disloyal at first, even though it's the first loyal thing that you've done for yourself for years. Healing from an unbalanced relationship isn't just about taking space from that other person, but it's about separating yourself from the version of you who had bent and shaped themselves to survive in that unbalanced environment. That version of you that stayed alert or adaptable or just kept the whole thing afloat. That tired version. You don't have to become someone new. You're not broken into pieces, however you may feel. You're just gradually putting down, piece by piece, these bags of weight that you've learned or been taught to carry. And as you continue to release that weight, to release that conditioning, it'll become more and more obvious to you that the conditioning existed, that you were never the problem. You were the one holding everything up. Big hug.